Well, hi guys, and welcome to Tuesday Talk. Let's make a deal that we'll never talk about my hairdo again. Again, I always say it every week. Can't believe it's Tuesday again. I have been busy the last couple days, and what I've been doing is painting my bathroom. So, my husband's out of town, so I often play while we're out, and we have an old tub, and we have painted it before with tub and tile paint, and I wanted to do that again, and I then I went crazy and I painted the walls and the ceiling and everything. So now my decor looks real tired, so I need to wake it up a little bit. So I have all kinds of cool things to do, but I want to start with this one because it's going to need the most dry time. So this is just a plate that I bought at Kohl's. I only bought it because it's black and white, and that's the colors of my bathroom, and it still is, even though I switched them up. And I'm going to paint this. The theme never quite fit. And why do I have a plate in the bathroom? Well, I'm weird. But it was just to put things on, and I had like a square cubby, so the square plate was just kind of perfect as a tray. So that's kind of why I use it. So anyway, we're gonna change it out, and I kind of have like a toile kind of French country thing that I've always had going on in there. So why I chose this, again, I think I just picked it out of desperation because it was black and white. But I'm going to use Slick Stick. Now, you've seen me use this before, and I'm going to put the screen down, but Slick Stick is a bonding primer. It helps paint adhere to glass. So if you think that paint won't stick to a plate, this is the stuff that'll make it work. So I'm doing this first so this has an opportunity to dry, because if all possible, I like to avoid using the hair dryer. I'm hoping that we're streaming okay on Facebook and on YouTube. Sometimes, I don't know whether it's internet or doing both at the same time, but sometimes I get a little grainy on YouTube, and I didn't go live on Facebook last week because of that, but we're gonna try it again tonight. So, because I like my Facebook friends just as much as my YouTube friends. So, okay, so I have one coat on here. You can see a little bit through there, but we're mainly looking for that bonding ability. So if this dries, we're actually going to paint it with black paint. So I'm going to set that aside and put my brush in the bag that I got. Yes, I did. I've been so crazy with this whole bathroom redo. So anyway, the store is closed Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Told you my hubby's out of town. So I have been working Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday on this bathroom. So I will definitely post pictures when I'm done, because I painted the ceiling in a metallic, and I'm just looking for the top of this. Painted the walls black. I've always wanted to paint black. And, when you say that to people, they think you're crazy. So I just kept it to myself and did it. And it looks so good. Now, we do have wainscoting, and I did that in white. So, anyway, this piece I did one time on Tuesday Talk before. And I don't know what I was thinking when I did it. I must have been, I don't know. Anyway, I painted it black because the walls were gray. And then I did this part in silver. And then I put this weird transfer in the middle. It was kind of like a postage stamp thing, but it had a big fish in the middle of it, and that was kind of weird. Feel free to pop on and, say hi when you pop on. But anyway, so we're going to correct that. We're going to kind of go back to the 12 French country kind of thing. So give us a little time. I did coat this with a coat of white cap, silk white cap. And no, I'm lying. White cap's what I used in the bathroom. This is salt water, okay? And I was going to coat the thing completely and then distress it. I just dry brushed it because it was black before. It really turned out nice. But that section in the center, we're going to use the same transfers that we used last week. And boy, I really, really hope that I brought the scissors back down. I don't think I did, but we're gonna make do. We'll figure it out. So I'm gonna put a transfer in the middle. Now I did use a transfer on my vanity, and that was kind of like a toile, French country kind of like outdoor kind of hunting kind of duck thing. So maybe show you what I'm looking at here. So we have this looks sort of like a hunting thing. Not that I have a hunting theme, but I'm just trying to, maybe the birds would be nice. But that's kind of more like a chicken, but this is like a swan. You can't see that. Swan with a crown. You know what? I think I like the angel too. And that would kind of fill up this space a little better. I think that's what we're going to do. Since I left my scissors upstairs, I'm just going to take that sheet off. That's what's nice about these IOD transfers. The sheets they're so much nicer than the rolled up thing. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to tear the paper underneath. I was going to say, what's the paper won't tear? And just kind of fold it up. That way, oops. I see this is kind of waxy paper. Okay, so it's nice that these have the grid marks because that allows you to center it. Now I want to make sure again that I'm hanging it in the right place. So this thing, that is the center. So that helps. I think this is going to look really pretty on this. I wish I had my scissors, but I don't, so we're going to make do. Okay. And I coated the center part with 2 coats of the saltwater paint. And really important that it dries thoroughly, or otherwise your transfers won't stick. And this is just how easy it is to do transfers. And let me tell you guys, we have so many cool classes coming up because the holiday stuff got released. So we're going to have all kinds of things you can make for gifts and for wrapping gifts. All really cool stuff. So you want to make sure to watch the workshops at La Vintage Decor page, or go to lavintagedecor.company and check out the workshops page, and you'll see. Now we don't have all the holiday ones listed yet, so I have to make samples, so that way you get to see what we're going to do. But trust me when I tell you, they're really cool. And we're going to be having those. Now, I also have some furniture painting classes coming up. I have a beginner's class coming up on September 16th, and that one is at 4 p.m. So that's a Saturday. But these IOD classes, or little small crafty classes, are going to be on Thursday afternoons. So now that the kids are back in school, hopefully you'll have a little free time in the afternoon. And if you work, maybe you can take your lunch break then. Because 1E didn't transfer. There we go. Yeah, if something doesn't transfer, just lay it back down and try again. Try again if at first you don't succeed, right? Okay, so what do you think? And by the way, this was a clock, so just so you know. Anyway, I don't know whether I said that or not. So E is a little troublesome. I think the paint, I know what happened. When I brought my brushes in, I dropped a droplet of water on there, so that's why. It's gonna be okay. I'm gonna keep pressing it down. I think it'll be fine. If not, you know, when your transfers don't transfer completely, just do a little sanding on them and distress them, and they'll be fine. So that's one project done. Okay, so I'm going to set that one aside. Then the next thing we have, so I have a couple of these, and these are from Kirkland's. They're like vintage Kirkland's. And I think, yeah, they all came from Kirkland's. I used to work in the mall, and there was a Kirkland's in the mall many years ago. Like, so these are probably, oh my gosh, 20 years old maybe. So I wanna, well, my brush is a little wet, but okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use Dixie Belle's Grunge Gray Glaze. Say that 3 times fast. Grunge Gray Glaze. And I'm going to get, so my brush is a little bit wet. You can use a mister when you do this. Don't be afraid of this because you can just wipe it back. I have a paper towel here handy. And I'm just going to start kind of in the middle here. And I'm just going to paint over that. Glaze is kind of like a kind of a gel, not quite a gel, but it's a thinner version of paint. Yes, this is what I always wanted with these. So I wanted the glaze to stay into the recessed areas. So I'm just going to kind of work the detailed areas of this. And it's okay if we have a little shadow around it. As a matter of fact, I usually come back in and put a shadow. But I'm like real super happy with this already. So again, we're just going over these high points and getting the glaze in there and wiping it back. Like, this is such a simple thing, but I just always felt like these things were cool, but they just didn't have quite the amount of personality I wanted them to, or the amount of, I don't know, dimension and depth, I guess. Maybe I'm just weird, but well, it's been established, so we just won't keep revisiting that. So I think what I'm going to do is finish the whole design part of it. This is awesome because I'm getting my job done. So my decor will be complete and I'm getting to hang out with you guys and showing you a few tricks. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is kind of go around this frame here inside. Because that just kind of makes that the places behind just kind of make sense, you know, where oh, I like it. Like here where I got, so this just kind of completes the whole look. I love how this color looks on here. So like I said, I did the ceiling in Moonshine Metallics in, it's my favorite color, can't think of it, Steel Magnolia. To me, it's like a champagne kind of color. It's like between silver and gold. years ago, it was just a plain, looks like a office ceiling tiles. And I used spackling and a stencil and stenciled the entire ceiling. So it kind of looked um, like tiles, like tin. So so it's been like that all this time, and I've always wanted to do something with it. It's been white. I always wanted to do something to make it look a little more like a tin ceiling. So that's what I did. Okay, now I'm going to just kind of dry brush along here because I've gotten some of the glaze on there too. So this way it just kind of all looks natural. Just kind of like natural wear and tear. Okay, so I'm calling that one done. All right. Boy, these projects, just getting through them. Okay, so same deal with these. These are a little bit different texture. They have more texture to them. They have a lot more pattern, but we'll start in the middle. Oh, this is so pretty. So I've been looking at these things for years. Yeah, a lot of people change their decor a lot. I don't know, because it's funny being doing what I do, but I guess the things that I've collected, curated, if you will, I love. And so I just kind of tend to hang on to things, but you spend a lot of time in the bathroom, and sometimes I look at these things and I'm just thinking, I just want them to be a little bit different. I've always wanted to do this, and now's the time. Okay, wiping the glaze back. There's little ridges in here. I'm going to do the frame first, see what that looks like. Actually, I should do my brush this way so that the glaze stays in those little... I guess I need to use more glaze in order to get it to do that. Yeah, I do. See how it stayed in there? Sorry for the noise. I shouldn't be stacking them, but limited room here. Hope everybody's week is going well so far. If you're watching on either Facebook or YouTube and the video's not good, let me know, please. I usually try to watch it back just to see, but... Okay, so now, same situation. I got some in here, so now I'm going to go in here and put it, and when I wipe it back, I'm going to wipe it in this direction. So I'm kind of using those little lines and putting the glaze in the direction that the lines are going. But when I wipe it back, I'm wiping in the opposite direction. Make sure you get corners. Okay, so this may not seem like a big deal, but let's compare them. Which do you like better? I think this one has a whole lot more personality now. And let's do this one. Because after all, I hope you like them, but it's my bathroom, so Now I hope my husband likes them. A lot of people don't care, you know. They, you know, a lot of guys don't care. They just like, but my husband, you know, he usually always has, he appreciates it. He's used to me doing while you were out, but, um, you know, he definitely has things to say about the decor. So it's his house too. So I've I used to just do these things total surprise. Now I kind of warn him a little bit and ask his opinion if it's something dramatic or drastic. Okay, boy, I really like that. Same thing with the edge. It's the same kind of edge, same exact thing. Yeah, I think I looked on this. I don't know why that's little speckles on there, but I think it's just porous. Like just little kind of holes in the cement, and that's the way it's taken the glaze, but that's okay. So this is one of those things like, why didn't I do this sooner? Because I really like it. And I'm going to do the same thing, go with these lines, get the corners, and then wipe it back in the opposite direction so that it stays in those little lines. So I submitted my furniture piece for the do-it-yourself competition, the Make It Shine competition, so I'll be anxious to hear about that. And there's a lot of really beautiful pieces just from the few that I've seen that have been submitted, so, you know, highly doubt, but, you know, you never know. I think I definitely did something a little bit different, but we'll see. I definitely made it shine. If you follow my social media, if you follow along on Facebook or Instagram, then you saw it. Okay, so again, I love this and just can't believe I never did it sooner. It's so much, has so much more depth. Okay, so we our plate over here. It's pretty much dry. So I'm done with this brush, done glazing, so I'm putting that away. And tell me I didn't bring the black paint down. Okay. I did not bring the black paint down. So that part's not, but anyway, you saw me put the slick stick on. So what's going to happen with this then? Slick stick's the bonding primer, so this is going to allow me to paint this and the paint will stay on. I'm painting it in black sands, the same color as I did the walls, and then I'm going to use another one of these transfers and I'm going to use one of the white ones. So there's a page, you can't see it, but they're white. And I'll show you what it looks like on the back here, if you can see that. So we'll pick another design, maybe the same one. Maybe we'll do the angel one again, and perhaps put that on there. So we'll set there aside. So just make sure you watch my social media, and I'll post pictures because I'm pretty sure I'll be finishing these tonight. Okay, so boy, I meant to clean this before. This has been in the same place for quite some time. Trust me when I tell you, oh my gosh, the fuzzies. This is a little embarrassing. But this hasn't been taken down to clean for quite a while. So, I'll show you what this is. Yeah, well, trust me when I tell you, I'm going to clean the glass in here. But this is a picture, obviously, it's a photograph that my stepdaughter took when she was in Europe. So I have always loved, trying to get this, just all this creamy architecture, all this. It's crazy, the designs in here. So it's like angels and cherubs and demons. It's crazy. This is a little bit wet, so I'll get this cleaned up a little bit. But what I want to do is put some molds on the corners just to dress it up a little bit. Because it's just kind of a, plain Jane frame. And the picture is just so gorgeous, so I just want to call a little bit of attention to it. And then I think what I'll do is paint the molds black and then dry brush the whole thing white. So this is the mold that I'm going to use. And this is the acanthus mold. So obviously these designs are a little bit too big. So what I'm thinking is just these little pieces. I'm going to start those in the corner and go from there. So I'll be making 4 of those, and then we'll see what it looks like. That is some older clay. I have bunches of bags of clay that I want to use up. This is Iron Orchid Designs air dry clay, and I want to keep it in a plastic bag. Okay, and you want to dust your mold with cornstarch. I'm going to get another hunk of this. That was pretty dry. This feels a lot more malleable. Okay, so I'm just going to take this little hunk and work it around in this mold. And that same stick that I used to transfer, we can use to get the excess clay off, because they have this micro rim, and then you just turn it over and your little mold flips out. So if we get our picture here, these are great for corners. So let's make a couple of these, and then we'll glue them on, and then we'll see if we want to do more. We'll see if less is more or more is more in this case. I really wish I had my black paint down here, but you know what? I dropped the ball, so I made several million trips up and down the steps over the last couple days. I should have been wearing my my Fit watch to track my steps. I haven't even been wearing my rings because I've just been in so much water and paint and you name it. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. Make 2 more and we'll get our corners. I'm pretty generous with the cornstarch because it just makes life a little easier. Now, sometimes you see me use the 2-part epoxy, and sometimes I use the air dried clay. And this would be an instance for sure that I want the air dry clay, simply because of the curve on the frame. If you get your, if you use two-part epoxy and you get the molds out right away, then you can bend them. But if they get too hard, then you're out of luck. I've heard people put them in the microwave, so I don't know. That's one of those things that I'd probably be afraid to do. Alright, so we've got 4 pieces here. Let's put them on our piece. And I think this is the way that I want to do these, with that point in. Or do I like it like that? Maybe I like it like that. Okay. So I have my Aleene's tacky glue here. You want to put the glue the whole way out to the corners. You know what, I'm going to glue them all up first and then put them on, because I'll get glue all over my fingers. And this week there's a bonus video tomorrow night at 7, releasing a video of a challenge that I did, a collaboration. It's a unique antique. It's like a Victorian floral kind of flavor. So that's the theme. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. You have to work the glue. You have to spread it the whole way to the outside of the mold, because you want it to stick. Now sometimes air dry clay cracks. And you know, that's not a bad thing, especially in something like this, because you're doing an architectural design, and it's likely that it might crack. So I kind of lean into that, and I like it. Okay, so I'm thinking that that might be enough. and I'm thinking I'm gonna paint this black and then dry brush the whole thing white. What do you think? Or paint the whole thing white. Then I think it's too much white. I think the frame needs to frame it. Oh, the paint is chipping off of here. It's not all dirt. Yeah, because I don't know that there's really any other... I mean, we could probably do these little florals. That might be pretty. There's little... It's kind of a wide frame. Let's do 4 of those. I did some of these for the video. So I put up the video on Saturday for my competition piece. So if you want to check that out, it's up. And I used a bunch of these, only I used the 2-part epoxy. And I painted them gold. Oh, they looked so pretty. One. These are easy, they just pop right out. Oops, wrong one. I don't know whether we'll just use 2 on the long ends or use 4. Either way, looks like I'm making 4 molds. Probably because it's fun. So very little clay to do something like this. And I feel like this is one of those things that will make an impact on this frame. You know, just look at from basically a document frame to a decor piece. Now my stepdaughter gave this to us. Oh my gosh. This was many, many years ago. So we've had this forever. Okay, so I don't know that... I think that's kind of too much. Although this whole thing is sort of about excess. I don't know that I like the flowers, though. I like them, but for this, maybe these buttons would be better. Because these just look kind of cutesy. Okay, let me try that. If that doesn't work, we'll just call it a day. So these look a little more architectural to me. I think these 2 are the same size. If not, we'll do 2 big ones and 2 small ones, since the sides are longer. Yeah, one's definitely bigger, so we'll do that again. Oops. So let's see how these look. I'm going to put this clay away. Keep putting that bag farther and farther away out of my reach. Okay. So on the long sides, we can put the bigger buttons. I don't know. That seems lost too. Really struggling with this. Okay. Let's try one more thing. I'm going to set this aside, keeping those buttons in mind. And let's just try something else here. There's these two little swirls. Maybe we'll try that just on the top. Maybe the top and the bottom. So I'm kind of using some old clay up, so it's a little, some of it's a little bit harder. And I could probably spray some water in there and revive it a little bit. Alright, let's see. So we have two little, they look like little baby shrimp. Let's see if they'll work on here. Yeah, I kind of like that. What do you think? I know it looks weird with the black and the white, so you have to picture it with all one color. Not 100% sure how I'm feeling about it. So ambivalent, but I think I'm going to go with that, because like I said, it's going to kind of all be the same tone anyway, so. And these just happen to fit right on that frame. Kind of using the tip to spread it out a little bit here instead of my fingers this time. So if you're on and you've made a comment, I haven't seen them. I've either been engrossed or they flip away too quickly. Sometimes that happens on YouTube. And then you cannot go back and look at them later. What happens on a live, those stays on live, I guess. Alright, I think we're going to keep these buttons on here. Still thinking the flowers aren't appropriate. Okay, so how about we paint the frame with salt water and then use the grunge glaze. So I'm gonna take this out of here very carefully. I should have thought of that beforehand, perhaps. And you can paint all this when it's wet. That'll give me a chance to get that glass really clean. You just want to be careful, and you want to kind of be a little gentle with it, because the molds obviously aren't dry. They get a little like crust on them when they sit out, but if they're not fully dry, then you just have to be somewhat delicate with them. So let me see. Best brush I want to use is this little size, medium size, I guess I could say. Okay. So like I said, you want to be gentle with them. We just glued those babies on there. You kind of want to get the brush in the details without smushing the details. So I think I'll go heavy on the glaze, because this is gonna be against a white wall, but I think it's all gonna look very architectural. It just sits on top of a shelf, and it just kind of leans against the wall, so it's not actually hung on the wall. Not that that makes a difference. But the shelf is white too, so it's kind of, and you know, like I said, it's not like a shabby chic kind of all white situation. It's more of, like I said, now the walls are black, so it's kind of more of a French country kind of, and we have a little bit of toile in there, so some toile accessories and stuff. And yes, I painted my tub. The stuff we used this time, they make a tub and tile paint called Homax, and I've used it before, and it's extremely stinky. And it does the job. We've used it before, but this time we used acrylic enamel, and it's a little less stinky. I mean, I guess this is the second time we used it. My husband actually did it one time before, so this is the first time I've used it. But it you know, it's one of those things, like, it doesn't last forever, but it certainly extends the life of an old tub. We have a 1938 house, so our we have a lot of stuff that's original to it, and pretty sure that tub's original. Now I'm just getting that outside. And I'm not worrying about getting complete coverage on this, because of the fact that I'm going to be distressing it so much with the glaze. So I have all these little crumbs from the clay. I'm not even worked up about that, because it's kind of really textural too. So again, reminded me of, you know, old ceramics. I'm gonna put the screen up here if I can. so we can say hi. Okay, and last thing I'm going to do, I am going to take a minute and dry this off and then put some glaze on it. So you can at least see that finished. So sorry about the noise. Okay. Short and sweet, right? Okay, so I'm going to use the glaze again. And let's start up here. I think my paint is still a little wet up there, so I'm just kind of gonna lay that paint in there. You can't see what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm just putting the grunge glaze on there again. And I'm gonna let it sit in there a minute before I wipe it back. I shouldn't have put the screen up so soon. I missed ya. This is one of those ones where I kind of wanted to get dark, so that's why I'm waiting a minute to wipe it back, and I'm going pretty heavy with the glaze. I love these corner molds. Yeah, I definitely painted all of the things in there. I swear the only thing I didn't paint was the toilet and the sink. I've painted sinks before, but I don't think a toilet's going to be practical. I've painted toilet seats before, but a day in life, right? Okay, so I have this pretty grungy, so I'm just going to wipe it back. I'm going to get a fresh paper towel here, and I'm just going to kind of pat at it. Like in here, I'll wipe pretty good. Just kind of do it in different directions. But I do have to be careful because of the glue being not completely set. So I'm just being kind of careful and getting most of it off. Okay, let's see. What do you think? I definitely didn't get it off over here. It's on my hand. Okay, I kind of really like the way this turned out now. And I still have to clean the picture, but I'm gonna put it back in here a second. What do you think? I like it. I'm happy with that. You know, I'll tell you, I've been looking, like I said, I've been looking at these things all along and wanted to make these changes, and now's the time to do it, and I'm real happy with it. So Okay, so you saw that one. I'm leaving it down to dry because it's all over my hands. So yet to finish, and I'll post it on social media. We put slick stick on the plate, and that's going to get painted black, and then it's going to get a white transfer put on it. And what we did already was we took these architectural pieces from Kirkland's many years ago, and I got them for $2.97 reduced, and put glaze on them. Far more interesting than they used to be. Same for this piece, and I really like this. And lastly, we redid our old clock that we did before. So, because who needs a clock in the bathroom? I mean, people do have a clock in the bathroom, but I never changed the batteries. It just, we're so digital oriented now, so I have all these pretty clocks, and I did the same thing for the one in my kitchen. I have a transfer in the middle. So, all right, well, I'll tell you what. Stay tuned tomorrow for the finished result, because I have to have the bathroom ready by Thursday anyway. So for the big reveal for the hubby. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, we're not going to talk about my hair, and I hope you have a really good night. Bye.